Well,
oh boy. Well, it was an opportunity missed for the Punjab Kings because after having done all the good work, they didn't start off well, lost wickets in clumps. You can say Mohammad Siraj, the difference maker with 4 wickets, his death bowling in particular.
Very,
Please
very
note,
impressive.
2 wickets in that 18th over killed the chase for Punjab Kings. Jitesh Sharma, we thought it would be a day of redemption for him. Remember, he had dropped Faf du Plessis and he was looking good with 41 of 26. He also got a dropped catch, by the way. Virat Kohli dropped catches in Mohali. It's a love story greater than Twilight, you may say. Because you remember even in 2013, he had dropped a similar catch high and Royal Challengers Bangalore were made to pay. But not today. Finally, the inconsistent Royal Challengers Bangalore notch up a win that's kept them with the rest of the pack.
Yeah, 6 points now for them.
Same as Punjab Kings. We were thinking rain will come. It was windy, it was cloudy, but luckily that's not happened. RCB held their nerve and they managed to win by 24 runs, which I must say is a comfortable margin of win.
Very comfortable considering they only had like 174 on the board. Punjab were all out for 150, and to be told, I think I will blame Punjab's poor batting as much as I will on anything else. I mean, you had Atharva Tahede, he went for God. First ball 4, second ball failed to read a straightener, trapped.
And
Prab Simran bowled by Parnell.
If I can add to that, the force was with Royal Challengers Bangalore because Kohli got a review right. He asked to go for the review, he got it right. So the force was with Royal Challengers Bangalore.
See, and they also got rid of Matthew Short early. Why? Because in the last game which Punjab played against Gujarat Titans, then also it was Rashid and his Googly that got rid of him. They brought on Hasaranga at a time where he doesn't normally bowl, the power plays. Get rid of Short. He once again failed miserably to read a Googly.
Yep. Pinnadu Vaduge Hasaranga Vanindu Hasaranga De Silva. That's his real name.
Okay, I don't know.
Pinnadu Vaduge Vanindu Hasaranga De Silva. And after that, Liam Livingston. The key was his contribution in the chase. It never materialized. Trapped LBW by Siraj. Again with a ball that straightened late off the pitch. Good pace, movement of the deck, and after that, Harpreet Singh Watia, Sam Curran, 2 brilliant runouts, by the way.
I wouldn't say brilliant. I think good throws, no two ways. But in the case of Harpreet, he had given up before the throw was even, fired. He had given up. He just didn't dive, nothing.
And let me tell you, it was very, very lax running by Sam Curran.
Yeah.
He thought the throw will not come at me. He was casually just sliding the bat, direct hit. And that is why you see Sam Curran's dismissal and Harpreet Bhatia's dismissal consecutive broke the back of the entire Punjab batting.
Absolutely.
In this kind of a chase, you needed the experience of Sikandar Raza and Shikhar Dhawan. Those two guys, their absence was felt today. And if they are not there, then Punjab, I think they're going to struggle. They're really going to struggle.
Especially, I think, Shikhar, because with no Shikhar, they've had to rejig their batting lineup a lot.
Yep. And that's how Royal Challengers Bangalore have ensured that they are now in the, I think they're 6th, I suppose. Punjab have slipped to 7th.
Yeah, because their net run rate would still be in the negatives, if I'm not wrong.
Yep. So that is why good performance from Royal Challengers Bangalore. I think my man of the match should ideally be Mohammad Siraj. 4 for 21.
Has to be.
But I don't know whether they'll give to Du Plessis for setting up that.
No, I'll go with Mohammad Siraj because he got up front. Somehow delayed phase initially. He got the big men, Matthew Short, those foreign recruits, Livingston, Prab Simran for a change was back amongst the runs.
Yes, we are joined by the Eagles. Can you hear us?
You're live. Say, speak in English.
Yeah, please come.
No, now we can't hear them.
Good game.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you hear us or not?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm going to meet one Siraj Singh Sandhu with me.
Sarang Singh Sandhu.
Siraj Singh Sandhu.
He's got a toe.
Siraj Singh Sandhu, who just in the I'll tell you one thing. Do you know why he's dressed like this? Why is he wearing the pagdi and supporting? He's a KKR fan followed by a Rajasthan Royals fan. But today, you know why he's wearing it? Because the locals were not supporting RCB today. Were not supporting Punjab Kings today. The locals were supporting RCB. That's the first thing I want to tell you guys. The one thing that I have noticed, whether it was outside the stadium, whether it was inside the stadium, whether I saw the t-shirts being sold, whether I saw the crowds cheering for sixes, fours, wickets, everything was RCB. Talking about an RCB fan, I have an RCB fan with me. Finally.
Can't hear.
I think
Okay, they can't hear you. 1 second.
You may have to ask somebody to hold the camera for you, Nikhil. No, I understand that. I understand. Somebody might.
Can't hear.
Audio's just gone.
I think you can remove the AirPods that you got from Australia.
Can't hear.
Nothing. Audio is totally gone.
Australian AirPods aren't working.
It's not made in India. That's why.
I think now they will.
Nope.
Now we can't hear it.
Yes. Now. Go ahead.
It's still very muffled.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Go ahead.
They can hear us. Now go ahead. What were you saying? Gargi is here.
We've been to RCB. Us RCB fans have been waiting for this for so long, and today it looked like RCB outplayed Punjab Kings in every department.
Nikhil, can you ask our Siraj Singh Sandhu to hold the camera for you guys, but just ask him not to take it too far from you people.
I think they have disconnected.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, as is the.
Huh?
Of course they'll rejoin.
They will rejoin. As is the case, getting a proper network from a particular stadium in India or any stadium in India requires a lot of luck. Rahul had luckily that luck in the test matches where he could connect with us. The connection was smooth, but here IPL
Was it?
Really? There were many times it wasn't.
It wasn't, but majority of the
No,
time.
that's what I'm saying. No, it's about the venue you are in. In Mohali, it's still better than most of the venues. Like in Indore, it was very good.
Yep.
Nagpur, it was very
In
bad.
Delhi, you'd be struggling at times.
Yeah. So, where's the rest of the entourage, Nikhil? Yeah, I don't know why people behave so strangely. You know, one win here and there, and everybody दिखा दिया तुम्हें विराट ने दिखा दिया ये. अरे, at the end of the day, it's
Hello,
a match.
can you hear
You'll
us
lose
now?
some, you'll win some. Anyways,
Can you hear us?
yes.
Perfectly.
I know Gargi is a very soft
okay, now they
spoken girl,
can.
but
No.
you'll have to ask her to speak very loudly.
Okay, so what was happening is that too many RCB fans, including Gargi, who's walking with me, too many RCB fans. So they were screaming so loudly, I could barely hear you guys. So now I'm just moving a little away from them and coming into this
You may not
area.
be safe.
So
We
now
certainly
can
are.
you see us, hear us better?
It's much better
Are we
now.
on-
What place is this? Where is this? In Mohali.
Outside of the
You're walking
stadium.
towards that market. You know. That's Sarao
Yes.
or Majestic Hotel.
Okay, so this is very close to the market right outside the stadium. Firstly, let me just tell you, if you can hear us very well, we had a fantastic time. It was a day out for SportsTak and Sports Today team. And all of us, 19 of us, were in the stadium in different stands, albeit because we couldn't get all tickets together. But majority were in the same stand. So Gargi will tell us a little bit more about it as we go along. But we came here to watch a good game. The experience was amazing. The only thing I'm just pointing out again that I'm very disappointed with is that there were more RCB jerseys, more fans, local fans. You know what really surprised me? There were local batsmen batting. You know, you had the likes of Harpreet Barar, you had Arshdeep Singh in the team bowling, you had Bhatia, you had, so many I can think of, Prab Simran who batted very well, so many of them. But it was not for their 4s and 6s that people were cheering. The crowd was only chanting RCB, RCB, RCB. All they were getting excited was every time Virat was doing. But I tell you what, not only Virat, anything that RCB was doing. I mean, if it was Siraj taking wickets, they were more happy for RCB than Punjab Kings. I don't know how that is, and how a team that is representing some local talent, local guys, can have more people supporting the other team. I mean, Virat is an exception. He's an Indian player, so I understand. He's a Punjabi lad too. But yet to see that kind of support for the opposing team is unusual. I saw it with MS Dhoni before this, and we had been experiencing that in this tournament. But to see it once again here, that was, baffling for me. Other than that, I mean, Gargi will tell you, how was the experience? How were you guys all watching together?
I think it was really fun because 10, 11 of us were sitting together and we had a lot of, differences. A lot of teams were a lot of people were supporting Punjab, some were supporting some other team. But just picking sides whenever whoever is doing well, they'll just pick some sides and then go along with it. And there was a lot of dancing and shouting. But like you said, it is the Virat Kohli effect, I believe. And it's not only in India that it happens, it also happens outside of India. It's just who Virat Kohli is. Look at the way he was controlling the crowd. I mean, every time he was at the boundary, it was amazing to see how the crowd was reacting to it. I think it was a great match to witness. And especially, I think the crowd was really pumped with was how RCB was fielding today. They were really on point with everything.
Okay, I just want to tell you a few other things. I hope you can still hear us and at least you can see us. All courtesy, our good friend.
I think we can hear you clearly. Yeah, now it's better. Thankfully, you switched on the lights, I guess.
Yeah, so lights have been arranged there. See, Mr. Siraj Singh Sandhu has got lights for us also arranged. So now you can see us as well as hear us. I just want to mention a few things. I mean, it was cloudy here, grey clouds up in the sky.
Very windy too, I guess.
And it did. Sorry?
Very windy also, I guess. Because
very windy. I tell you, at all points, our eyes were on the Duckworth-Lewis score because at any point it could have, rain and stop the game. And interestingly, Punjab would get very close to reaching that Duckworth-Lewis score. Yeah. Very close, like 5 runs, 7 run shot. And every time you'd think that next over they'll surpass it, they would lose a wicket. So I think that's one good thing that RCB did, kept picking up wickets. I don't know, have you guys discussed who your player of the match is? But my personal pick is going to be Mohammad Siraj. I am now convinced that, remember you spoke to us about 3 best bowlers. This IPL, who you're going to go with? Siraj was one of the bowlers that I had picked in my top 3. But I'll say clearly now, he's the best bowler this IPL. Not only in terms of wickets, I don't know whether he's leading or not, that doesn't matter. But the importance of wickets at the stages that he's been picking, not in this game, but throughout this tournament, I think he was the standout performer.
And also, Nikhil,
and I think the difference between
win or loss the venues. In this game was you have to see where he is bowled. He is bowled well even in Bangalore, by the way.
Exactly. And different. I mean, he's the go-to bowler. There's a partnership that develops, and what they do is get Siraj on. New ball, you want a big wicket to fall, you get Mohammad Siraj to come. Any partnership building in the middle, you get Mohammad Siraj. Today, towards the death, the game was still very much on, and we were actually talking that one good over and Punjab could win. And that once again, you had someone like Mohammad Siraj come and deliver. He's just been outstanding.
Achha, one thing, we discussed this in the mid innings. I'm sure, Nikhil, you must have been sitting with the the big wigs of PCA, Punjab Cricket Association, the hospitality lounge. Gargi must be there with a lot of normal public also.
Members of the public.
Just wanted to ask. Usually you pick things from the public, general public also. When Virat got that, how many did he score in how many?
59 or 47.
59 or 47 balls. Did anybody in the ground, did anybody say that he is again very slow? Because today you had 2 players. One was playing at a different strike rate. The other was relatively slow.
Very interesting. Rahul, you talk about that strike rate of Virat Kohli. Can I be very honest? I spoke to a few, as you said, some officials and also to a lot of fans because, there were a lot of fans sitting around me. And the only one who looked at his strike rate with an analytical point of view or even a critical lens were just me and Vikrant. And I'm being very honest. Everyone else just didn't care. They just cared that Virat Kohli continues to bat. The longer he bats, they will get their money's worth, their paisa basool. I spoke to a few ladies also who were sitting next to us, big fans. They just came. They said, no, we want to see him bat for as long as possible. And honestly telling you, if you ask my opinion, I think that stage, he started off very well. Then that stage, it's Faf du Plessis that kept them, going. But imagine today it was Punjab's game to lose because of fantastic fielding. Let's not forget RCB's fantastic 2 bits of fielding and some very irrational sort of batting by Punjab.
Exactly.
But overall, why I'm talking about this is overall at this stage, 175 odd wouldn't have been enough to win a game. And so that's when probably the strike rate that you're talking about would have been looked at much closely. But because RCB have won, because Punjab was kind of careless in the way they approached their batting, I think that strike rate will not come into play. But honestly, it was just me and Vikrant who were sitting next to each other. And we did discuss that some of those moments he should have tried to seize, should have tried to attack. But what at that time Punjab did very smartly is first, which they weren't smart about, didn't bring a spinner early on, which they should have. But when they got, then Virat became a bit circumspect and took out singles when both spinners were operating and then tried to attack Nita. But I'll let Gargi also talk about Virat Kohli's strike rate. Did it bother you or you just happy? She's a Virat fan, so her perspective.
Of course, I'm a Virat fan. But when we were in the first inning, there was a lot of talk between me and whoever else was sitting with me that Virat may be batting slow because we were 10 overs past, 15 overs past, and we only had I think 100 or something runs on the board. So that was kind of worrisome, but in the end it all worked out for RCB this time. It may not work out the next time, so things have got to get better.
But since we were talking about strike rates and RCB, again, I would say posting a below par total. They got away against Delhi, they got away today. If they had to go, ahead in the tournament, this needs to be fixed because again, I think Punjab were in a way kind to RCB. Delhi were overly kind to RCB. Going forward, if RCB wants to see itself in the top 4, you need them to plug these holes going forward.
See, Harshit, you nailed the point right on the head. RCB fans and whoever are there, 15 years they have always been very happy, just been happy with the crumbs that they have got. A better team, for example, like Chennai Super Kings or Kolkata Knight Riders, will hurt them very, very hard because the batting was far from perfect, the fielding was far from perfect, barring those 2 runouts. And you look at it, their bowling, it's still hit and miss, barring Mohammad Siraj. Still hit and miss. So the fans may be going, oh, look at what RCB have done, but hello, it's against Punjab Kings, a team that has underwhelmed even more than them. So I think the major problem that RCB's fans have is that they go way ahead of themselves. One win, they think they won the IPL.
Exactly.
It's not like that. You have to win a further 6 to 7 games. Then and only then you can reach even the playoffs, where you're not guaranteed to reach the final. If you win the IPL title, then talk about all these kind of things. Only then Virat's knock, in a better hindsight, that will be crucial.
And also, Nikhil, you were mentioning that only you were the one who was looking at Virat's innings with a different prism, because otherwise everybody thought that the more Virat bats, the better it is for the crowd. I'm sure RCB will now continue with the same formula, Virat being the captain and Faf du Plessis being the impact player or the substitute. So, or is this the last time that anybody of us, or you, by the way, you guys have seen Virat captaining a side?
Oh, I can't. I mean, it's the last time I think he captained. Was it the test team? I think that was the last time.
Yes.
I saw him.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, that was the last time. In fact, the only one time where I thought he would then come back to captain was, I think, the World Test Champion.
Yes. Yes,
final
yes.
test of England, because
England,
at that
England.
time was that
No, Bumrah.
Bumrah was the captain.
no, he didn't come.
No, England. I remember, Nikhil. Remember you here sitting here. You used to say it so very often. अरे विराट को बना दो captain, or else get Rahane to captain, or when Bumrah was made the captain.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That final test of that England series, that's the one time that I actually thought that they might look into getting Virat the captain. I mean, for few reasons. One, he had been captain previously when that series was on. Then Rohit was not available. So I thought if there is one player that you can really look at, it could have been Virat. But when he did not at that time, I thought he was very circumspect. He was very careful not to ever take that captaincy back. But I think in a T20 game where you now have an impact sub, I think you can then look at this very rare scenario where Virat comes in captain. But I don't think that this is going to happen going forward. I think this is a one-off game because of that stitches that Pap du Plessis got near his hip. He looked good while batting, but maybe, for those guys to make those fielding efforts, he may not have been fit enough. Going forward, he's one of the most standout fielders that they have. So I doubt whether, they will not have him be the captain. So I think this was just a stopgap sort of an arrangement that RCB did.
And the shot that Glenn Maxwell played today, that almost underlines why he shouldn't be the captain.
Yep.
Always.
Why? Just stress on that. Please give us in detail.
Sorry.
Give us what you've said.
No.
Explain that now in detail.
No, because I am saying, last game, Faf, of course, had pain in his ribs last game also. So he stepped out of the field, and in his absence, Glenn Maxwell was the stand-in skipper during that time. So even if Faf was not available here for the full 40 overs, Maxwell should have been the captain. But, the shot that he played, he almost underlined how irresponsible at times he can be.
At times.
Or most of the times, according to Shane.
Sorry, come again, Rahul. I couldn't hear you. Come again, that last line.
So, the irresponsible shot that Glenn Maxwell played. First ball, Virat was just dismissed. You never know. This score of 174, although RCB won it pretty comfortably in the end by 24 runs in T20 is quite a good margin. So, you never know if Maxwell would have been there, they could have been better off, as in they could have gone past a score of 200. You never know, in that race to make it to the playoffs, this overall run rate might just come into play. But thankfully, because of Mohammad Siraj, who got you wickets up front and towards the end also, because at one stage it seemed that Jitesh Sharma had almost sealed the match in favor of Punjab Kings. And for Punjab, they're a team you just can't trust them. And Prab Simran, no disrespect to Jitesh Sharma or Prab Simran, but against teams like RCB, Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, these big ticket teams with the captains or players who've played international cricket for such a long time, you can't expect Prab Simran and Jitesh Sharma only to win you games. Somebody has to.
No, I completely agree with you with all the points that you said. I mean, the foreign players need to step up for Punjab. The senior players needed to step up. I think they missed someone like an experienced Shikhar Dhawan, because this would have been like a perfect kind of a chase, because this was like a par sort of a total, not really above. And even though Shikhar is a more pragmatic sort of a batsman, the one who will anchor the inning on one side, that's all they needed. The youngsters on the other end could have continued to attack. Had you had someone like a Shikhar here, I think this was a total that they could have chased, and which is why I think RCB need to look at that approach, because on most days it was Harakiri by Punjab that eventually ensured that RCB on the winning side, and some standout bowling by Mohammad Siraj. It's not going to happen again and again that he does that standout bowling and Punjab keep continuing to commit that Harakiri, especially when Shikhar is back. Agree with all of those points. But did I hear you correctly when you said that after what we saw today, Virat would not or should not captain again? Is that what you had said?
Sorry, what did he say?
Virat should not captain again. This is what you said.
I'm saying maybe what I think they will stick to the same formula for the next game also, at least for the next game.
No, I don't. I
And you
think
reckon he's going to continue captaining again?
And the injury or rather those stitches is still going to take time for them to heal fully.
No, I think he's not really referring to the stitches. He feels that irrespective of the stitches,
Irrespective of the availability or his fitness, we could see Virat.
Is that correct?
I didn't get that.
Sorry, come again.
I'm saying you're saying you think that this is the formula that they'll continue with. Even if Faf is completely fit, you think they're going to continue with this formula?
It's a rib injury. I think it might take some time to heal because Faf. I think for the next game at least they are going to stick to this formula because I've seen this. I'll tell you a story when you come back. May have shared it with you earlier also, but I'll tell you a story. And gauging by what happened then, you never know. And Virat might just fall in love with captaincy all over again.
Wow,
it's just like
that is breaking news.
You meet your ex-girlfriend after a very long time, and suddenly you fall in love with her all over again.
I want the title and everything to be what Rahul has just said because he's kind of given us. It's not breaking news because he's not confirming that, but that's his gut feeling. So it's not breaking news as such, but it's a breaking view. And I think you should put it on, which is very interesting, that he feels that from here on, Virat is going to once again rediscover his love for captaincy and maybe go forward to captain for a very long time. That's a very interesting thought, Rahul. I'm going to quickly ask some of them, what do you make of that? Would you like that?
Yes, of course. I think, I don't know if you know, but when Virat is the captain, there's a change in the energy. I mean,
You want him to, Rahul suspects it might happen and you want it to happen.
yeah.
But you also suspect it might happen.
I don't know.
Shane doesn't want it.
Practical world, I don't think Virat will come back into captaincy because the way that
What he's saying is that yes, circumstances weren't right and it was some sort of a bitter taste. What happened at an international level and he let go of the RCB batting. But now, the interviews that he's giving, he started enjoying his cricket again. He's in a different mind space. He said all of that.
Yes.
So is it not possible? Sometimes you fall out of love with something.
Yes, of course.
But you fall in love back with that person. Can it not happen?
Of course, I remember this interview that Virat Kohli did, and he talked about looking at things when he went to the hotel or the ground, that they were so beautiful. And he said he could never see that kind of beauty before because he was so stressed in the situation.
Will he
And
not see
now
captaincy now?
Yeah, and now he's enjoying the game. And
So will he now start seeing captaincy also, which he thought was burden, and now something which is beautiful?
it can happen in the IPL. Why not?
Can
Well, I
happen.
tell you what, no, I think, for all practical purposes, it's a beautiful thought, and we'd all, let's say, as neutral also, would like to see him captain again. But, with club football, with, just franchise cricket, let's say, franchise sport, I think when you talk about change in leadership, when you talk about, transferring that baton, it's a process. It's transitional in many ways. You stuck with your decision the last year around, and you can argue that, CSK also tried to do that, but then they didn't sustain that through the entire year. RCB did that, and for them to, midway through this season, then go back and, take that baton back and give it to Virat Kohli, I think that would be a shot in the foot. Going forward, they should stick with the philosophy that they've now discovered for themselves.
All I'd like to say is that I love this interesting aspect that Rahul has brought to this discussion.
Yeah.
He feels, and he has a story also which he's not going to tell on air.
and-
Maybe when I go back, he'll tell me.
If I may, on a lighter note, as Gandhi
please.
used to say, "Ke toota hua dil loves better."
This is something, by the way, we were just having a random conversation off air, it's just a normal work day for us. And some philosophy, something everyone was saying. And then Gargi out of nowhere, she picked, not in the conversation, just comes in and said, "Toota hua dil bahut acha pyar tha."
That's the gentleman next to you guys. That's why I was saying, suddenly, you meet your ex-girlfriend after so many years, and suddenly you fall in love with her all over again. And
Are you talking from experience?
sorry, me. No.
Never go back to your ex. Never.
See, this is painful.
Yes, this is experience. This is experience talking. See, if you go back to Virat Kohli, then be prepared to lose more ICC finals. Simple.
Arey, we are not talking about
RCB, right?
See,
Kuch bhi.
yeah. Acha, one more thing. I have a question to all you guys. Acha, you tell me, now that we've seen, at least Virat has always been very expressive, and these days, for the past 6-8 months, we've seen ever since that Asia Cup happened, he's been coming out for interviews, has been, when I say expressive, not on the field with his actions, but with his words also, off the field. He's been giving all these interviews. What are the chances that in a few days time we might see another interview from Virat, and somebody, it's a query that you can also ask, I can also ask, and the whoever is taking that interview on any of these platforms, ask him that would you want to captain RCB again? What are the chances of this question happening in days to come?
So it's a very interesting thought, and now because Rahul has asked this in a very rhetorical way, it is suggesting that he has an idea that there will be an interview very soon, and with him or not necessarily with him, but there will be an interview where this question will be asked
by the broadcaster.
Place for him if he wants to. What he was trying to say is that recently, we've gotten to see aspect of Virat, or gotten to know Virat slightly better, because he's come out and been very open, and he's mentioned a lot of things. So things which you wouldn't know otherwise, how would you know? Only when he's doing interviews, you get to know, right? And because, as Rahul is pointing out, earlier he was very reserved and we would not know, but now he's coming out and saying these things, so we're getting to know. So now he's in this mood where he's decided to be very open and open his heart out. Then he feels there will soon be an interview where this question will be out, and it'll almost be like a loose delivery ball to him outside the off stump, which he can correct through the cover of a ball, right? So trial ball sort of a thing, he feels, will happen by an interview where this question will be asked, and where then he might just come out and say, he's rediscovered his love. Though, if you ask my personal opinion, I doubt it will happen, because just knowing the personality that he has, I doubt he's going to go back to something that he let go. Because at that time, I agree that the state of mind has completely changed. But if the pressure was at the international level, RCB would have allowed him to captain for as long as he wants. Just like Dhoni is Mr. CSK, Virat Kohli is Mr. RCB. So I don't know. I agree. But the other interesting bit that he's talking about is we don't know, perhaps also not getting any younger, who could be that next guy. And if you're really looking back at someone, then it could be Virat. Personally, ask me, I don't think the chances of that happening are very high, but never say never. Never say never. It's an interesting thought.
No, I'm not worried about the answer, Nikhil. You are saying that the chances of that happening are very less. I'm not worried about the answer. I'm actually counting on whether the question will be asked or not.
100%. 100%. Now that you're saying it, you know that an interview is going to happen and that question will be asked. 100% it will be asked.
Anyway, if RCB make Virat Kohli the captain, okay, one thing will
can I
never
tell you
change.
one thing? By the way, Rahul, can I tell you one thing? Okay, here's a guess. If that interview does happen, let's say by not a independent media house.
Yes.
If it happens, let's say by a broadcaster or by RCB, if that happens and if that question is asked, then I'm 100% convinced the answer is going to be yes.
So,
okay, if it's asked by an independent reporter like a newspaper or a news channel, if that was to happen, then I think the chances are going to be no. And it's got nothing to do with who's asking. There's a lot of background to all of this, and if you're smart enough, you will figure out why I'm saying either one of those things. So the chances of that happening are very rare, but I don't think that interview will happen or that question will come. But if it does, and if that question comes, then I know the answer.
No, that's what I'm saying. The interview will happen, most likely should happen with the broadcaster.
Yeah. So I told you. Yeah. So I told you, if it does happen and if that question is asked, then I know the answer. But if that interview does not happen, or if it happens that question is not asked, then that's that.
Well, I mean, we are going so far ahead of Virat Kohli. We made the RCB captain.
One match.
No, what is going to change? Okay, Virat Kohli will take RCB to the knockouts. They lose. What else can happen?
But Siddharth, one thing I want to say, I agree with what he's saying. I'm not agreeing, but I respect his point. What he's saying is, you can keep talking about whether he comes back or not, but what's going to be the end result? That's what he's focusing on. But I just want to remind you, Siddharth, it's not just always about the end result or whether they'll win or not. There's a lot of emotion attached with Virat Kohli. There are a lot of fans, as I just mentioned, who came here just to see him. And it had nothing to do with his strike rate or even RCB winning. They just want to see him. So a lot of people with that emotion attached will be overwhelmed, and it'll be like massive news and be big news and make a huge difference to their life if he does decide to captain again. Whether that translates into any good fortune for the Indian team or the RCB or whatever that may be, may not be, and you could be right on that front. I don't know. But
How does the end result matter? I agree.
Exactly.
Imagine the second greatest man on earth leading RCB all over again. Like, what more do you want?
Second greatest man on earth.
And having not won for 15 years, what can happen?
No,
Nothing.
that's what I'm saying. No, that question you asked yourself, how does the result matter? That's what RCB have been asking themselves for 15 years.
Yeah.
No, but Nikhil, see, he's there at the venue. He was there among so many thousands of fans. He was right in between them. And he said, strike rate, only we people here on the in the studios, everywhere around the world discuss all these, minute things.
Banal things.
People
like
are not,
rate.
they just want to see Virat in flesh and blood for as much time as possible.
Yeah, so there is a solution. Play about 50 tests each year. That's it. See more of Virat Kohli. Don't play an IPL when you only restrict 20 overs. Play more tests. He'll play more there. Get more of Virat Kohli.
And by the way, why didn't Maxwell lead the RCB? Maybe because I'm saying because of course Virat is also part of that think tank. Maybe the way RCB were defending their totals in the last few games, maybe Virat wasn't too happy. Virat might have put his foot down and would have asked, I should lead the team.
This is rich from Virat Kohli if that happens. This is rich.
Here he is part of that think tank. That entire franchisee, that team has been built around that one name, Virat Kohli.
Yep. Exactly. But totals not being defended by RCB. Virat Kohli putting his foot down. Man. Irony died 1,000 deaths here.
Ask these guys.
I want to ask one thing.
You think the management would have taken this decision that Virat should lead the team today, or Virat would have shared his...
I want to ask one thing. Are you saying, Rahul, that whole famous Greg Chappell, Saurav Ganguly episode that happened in Zimbabwe, I was there. You must have also heard stories about how that entire thing played out. So, in that press conference, Saurav Ganguly was asked whether Greg Chappell has asked him to step down as captain. He was asked, and to which Saurav Ganguly replied, yes. You think, same way Virat will be asked whether he wants to captain one more time, and he will say, yes, because the question at that time was, how did the person...
I think we both are on the same page.
Greg Chappell had mentioned this. That was the first question that came from.
I think we both are on the same page because you mentioned that if an independent news organization is given an opportunity to interview Virat, then this question may or may not be asked. But if the broadcaster is given that is given an opportunity to interview Virat, then perhaps there is a chance that this question might just be sneaked in.
Okay, but now you ask your question.
But you people, I just before I let you guys go, there's a match in Delhi also. It's been, I don't know,
it poured.
Yeah, so
and the toss is delayed.
But I'm just asking you guys. Virat is a senior player in that team. He's part of the think tank. Today, what must have happened? Virat would have chosen to lead this team, or the management would have chosen Virat to lead this team?
Ooh, good question. Very good question.
That's why I'm asking you. I don't have answers to good questions.
management may have decided that he should lead the team, and he would have said, "Yeah, I'll do it," because at the moment they couldn't have seen any other.
They were both the second best man.
Then same management, why did the same management not ask Virat to lead the team in the last game?
Against CSK. Yeah.
Somebody else they could have gone.
It is very interesting though, because last time around in the previous match that RCB played, you had Glenn Maxwell, who was the man in charge for the last 4-5 overs when Faf du Plessis was not on the field.
Yeah.
It could very well have been Virat Kohli, taking charge of things then also, but it wasn't the case. So I do think, somewhere I think, just to answer your question, I think the team management would have gone ahead, because again, just to take care of the last 5-6 overs is one thing, but to lead the team into a new match altogether for those 20 overs, wherein body language matters, wherein decision making matters, I think that's why they went with Virat.
Team management or Virat's call?
I think team management, because if I was the team management, I would have gone to Virat first, and if he said yes, why not?
He won't say no.
Why not? He could.
He would have.
He said no to the captaincy in the first.
That's fine, but right now he knows where the franchise is and they needed him. So who else would they turn to?
He could have said, "No, I'm done with this, so I don't want to." Never know. He could have, but he obviously said yes. That's why.
Yeah, sir.
It's nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I watch the show regularly.
Thank you.
Say
Tell this to the others as well.
But you people are 100% convinced, no? You people are 100% convinced that it was management's call to appoint Virat as the captain today.
Sorry, what did you say?
You people are 100% convinced that it was management's call to appoint Virat.
No, we're not convinced. Nobody speaks to us, so we have no idea. We're just guessing.
Yeah.
Just guessing. We have no idea. Why would we? You asked us to speculate, so we're speculating.
See, they wanted to ensure Virat Kohli got the easier match to captain. Why will they want to burn his hands against Chennai Super
From
Kings?
you guys. I want to know from you guys. Who asked him?
Who asked him? No,
Or did he say whatever?
I'm sure they must have floated this idea, and after discussing the matter in the group also and personally also with individuals, that would include Faf and Virat.
Exactly.
Then the decision would have been taken, and Virat would have, and
Same thing we
whatever
said.
little we know of
We said the
Virat,
same
I'm sure
thing.
Virat would have said that I would lead this team because he wants to take challenges. He wants to take them head on, and this was an opportunity to go and beat a team like Punjab in Punjab. What more? An away game, victory in an away game. What more would you want?
To be fair, considering RCB's torrid home record, they mostly get victories in away games.
How ironic. They had a great home record, but they would struggle away. They would struggle away. See, this RCB team,
यार ये गलत बात है ना. If any other team they win an away game, you say यार they won. Now they have also won an away game. यार, you should give credit.
No,
to them.
and they've beaten a Punjab king that were resurgent.
Yeah.
So it's not like this was an easy win. In fact, a lot of people thought Punjab were favourites in this one, and clear favourites.
All these days when Livingston wasn't there, everybody was saying जिस दिन Livingston आएगा उस दिन देखना.
I mean, we all know Punjab Kings' big weaknesses. I mean, we had backed RCB because of the reasons that Punjab didn't have the batting firepower today.
The top order was very weak.
Yeah, they didn't have the batting firepower. We all thought, why drop Sikandar as a man in form just on reputation to get Liam Livingston?
See, he is trying to find, Siddharth is trying to find conspiracies here.
What
He is saying Sikandar Raza was dropped for this very reason, just to make that team weaker.
Not weaker.
Because they were playing against RCB.
I think the call is
The
done.
call's done. It's dropped.
I think that.
Yeah, 40 minutes time
The
limit.
free version ran out.
Yep.
Chalo, anyways, a lot of questions. Ambuj, been to stadiums, think only CSK get
Probably 10% more support.
then RCB, that too, because they're hyping MS's last IPL for 3 years.
3 years, exactly.
Cult hero in
Agree.
IPL. Huh?
Agree, totally agree.
No, but I don't think it is because this could be MS Dhoni. Yeah, to an extent also. But people get to see MS Dhoni just once in a year.
Exactly. The novelty factor is very important.
14 times.
Yes.
Or you can say...
So 17 times also.
Okay. If they have a good season, you can say you can actually see MS Dhoni 17 out of 365 days. Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, that is always there when it comes to CSK, and it will be interesting to see what happens after IPL 2024 if he plays his last season. How will Chennai Super Kings, the fan base and all, cope up with that? That is important, because without MS Dhoni, then the real test happens of fan bases. Will the Chennai Super Kings have the same nostalgia factor if they don't have MS Dhoni, the player?
They will, because they'll have him in a non-playing role.
In a non-playing, but on the field and not on the field. It's a big difference.
Acha, Ron Weasley.
From the Harry Potter series.
Can you just go down? I haven't seen Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even read Harry Potter.
That's right.
Anyway, is it true that Ricky Ponting will be removed as the head coach of Delhi Capital? If that's the case, that would make no sense, as he's the biggest reason behind DC's success till the last.
I mean, see, we don't know for sure, but murmurs are beginning.
I think he won't. I don't think that he'll be removed. I think the statement that you might get is that Ricky Ponting has decided to part ways. And because of personal reasons, he wanted to take a break, and then you will see Ricky Ponting in some other role in some other franchisee or somewhere else.
Yep. That
Might be another Capitals only. They have 3 of them now.
Yeah. Cape Town. No, which one?
Pretoria
Capitals.
I have my doubts, but I think Ricky Ponting may just leave the job on his own before.
Yes.
At times you have to preempt things.
Yep. Yes, and still there's a bit of light rain at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. It did.
I think the rain, it looks like it stopped, but
it's still very light according to the reports there, and here it did pour.
All the chances of Mitchell Marsh getting injured once again.
Yes. So it is light, but
just
still,
after he gets married, no less.
Yeah.
Obviously we have been talking about the game between Punjab and RCB, which of course RCB has won pretty comfortably in the end, but Shane is very much worried here. Why? Because the next match is between Delhi Capitals and Kolkata Knight Riders.
Correct. Yes.
And the toss has been delayed because it's been raining here in Delhi NCR. True. And obviously the match will also be delayed. It was scheduled to start at 7:30. Even the toss hasn't happened so far.
Yep.
So Shane knows that no match is as good as a loss for KKR.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't want to be losing points here. You're up against the bottom ranked team.
Yep.
You'd fancy your chances, get 2 points, get your campaign back on track, because their NRR, by the way, is still positive. So you get a good win, you're suddenly back up amongst the top 4 spots. You want a win. If you get a washout, 1 point, you don't want that result, plain and simple.
Yeah, and that too, Kolkata are coming off 2 losses back to back.
Exactly.
So they're in danger of losing momentum also. But if it's 1 point, if you get, I know it may not be washed out because I think the rain is spread only a short while. So you will get a game, maybe it could be
shortened
truncated. Yeah, shortened. But if you get a point, then your playoff chances, actually, because you'll be the only one in an odd number thing, it could increase. Because at 1 point that you'll get,
but weird determined.
No, but I know you are right to an extent, but there are also possibilities that because you are the only team, if that happens, if no
game happens, correct.
Yeah. So I'm saying with that odd number of points.
And actually, if you want that odd number of point things, let it be against one of the teams that are in the top 4.
Exactly.
Why Delhi Capitals?
Exactly. And see, imagine most of the teams are competing for net run rate, and you find yourself just a rung below them.
Yeah.
That you don't even get an opportunity to fight for that playoff spot on the basis of net run rate.
Yeah,
because I'll tell you why. In 2012, CSK RCB, that game at the Chinnaswamy got washed out without a ball being bowled. RCB was below, but they staged a late resurgence, which meant that Chennai had to get 3 results going their way. One, Punjab had to lose, which they promptly did.
Of course.
Then Delhi had to beat Rajasthan Royals to ensure that they got through. That happened. It needed Deccan Chargers to win against RCB, and also against, you may say, one of the teams that was higher than Chennai. They won that, but against RCB, 133, they defended and won 9 runs. So, 4 permutations and combinations ensured that 1 point that they got in that game against RCB was enough to get them through to the top 4. So, in that way, I'm saying it will be very, very important.
So, Abhi Adhikari has an interesting question. He's saying David Malan or Virat Kohli. Who would you pick in your T20 team?
A very tough one.
With honesty, I would say Virat.
Yeah, actually.
With all honesty.
But then David Malan at one point here was your number 1 T20 ranked batsman for as long as I can remember. It's a very tough call.
Now Malan's lost that.
No, now I think he's talking about overall.
Overall also.
Yeah.
Virat was much better than Malan even at his peak. Because he had impact. Malan, unfortunately, what happened? He played against a little bit of the lesser teams also in that period when he became that number 1 player. But Virat played against the tougher teams and got better results and impact. So even peak David Malan, I would say I would pick Virat any day.
Peak David Malan and peak Virat any day.
Then to peak Virat.
Peak Virat.
Yeah.
But
Even
it's a tough question.
I think, but he didn't mention about that peak thing. Maybe if today.
Today also, Virat.
Yeah, actually Malan's peak is kind of gone now.
Gone.
Fair enough. I agree.
So we don't know what will be the situation regarding because I think from 8:30 onwards or
You'll start losing
overs mostly. Because
So, what we can do right now is we can come back as soon as we have an update on when the match is going to resume or when the toss is going to happen. We'll come back with that update. But for the time being, I think, before we guys leave, SP Roy has a question. Do you guys, anybody wants to take that?
SP Roy says, is this a late start to this game? Tell me your 2 fave IPL games of all time. Mine is SRH versus KKR in 2014. That was, of course, the match where Yusuf Pathan won them
72 of 27.
Yeah, he won them the match within a stipulated time, helped them finish top 2. And Kings 11 versus MI in 2008, a 1-run win.
Yuvraj, his brilliance. Okay, my 2 favorite all-time games. CSK versus RCB in 2012, that 200 plus chase. CSK versus RCB in 2013. RP Singh bowling that big no ball and Jadeja winning it despite being caught. Those are my 2. Easy.
You wouldn't pick any of the finals which RCB won? Or which CSK won, sorry?
Nah.
Because my 2 favorites are that 2012 final and 2014 final. Easy as you like.
Okay, if you want to look at just the finals, I think my best final would be CSK versus MI 2010 and SRH versus RCB 2016.
Good one.
Those 2 are my best finals. Although a close second comes that KKR versus KXIP game in 2014.
That was a good final.
Went down to the last over.
To be fair, both of KKR's title wins went down to pretty much the last over, even 2012.
I want to whitewash 2012. That final.
Before Gaurav changes his opinion, Gaurav, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your love, for your support. And he's saying Virat is continuing to play this role.
This role is in like an anchor type role, I'm guessing he means. I think he will stick to that role, but there's certain games where it will get
better teams will hurt them.
Exactly.
Likes of GT, they might hurt them. And RR, because their next game is against Rajasthan Royals.
See, it says a lot that, by the way, today's game, despite RCB coming in with no momentum, overwhelmingly we picked RCB as favourites. Why? Because Punjab Kings batting order, top order just didn't inspire confidence. Against a more complete team, you won't get away with playing that knock.
Exactly. That's the thing. So, boy oh boy, it was a very, very intense post-match, helped also by the fact that the DC KKR game got delayed.
And yeah, exactly, that's the key. The rain delay really kind of...
And thankfully at Mohali, the network helped. And Nikhil and all
we had a nice discussion with the people over there.
Yep, it helped. And thank you so much to Nikhil, Gargi and Harshit for joining us from there. And we'll be back soon for
whenever we have an update, we'll be back.
Yep. So thank you so much, people, for this intense post-match.
And there's going to be a lot more because God forbid if there's more rain interruptions.
Oh no. Okay. I hope they don't do the 2017 bit where overs would start to reduce after 3 hours.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh goodness. No, but that's the provision in the knockouts.
Playoffs, that's a different matter.
Damn. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Nandri from me, Rahul and Nikhil and Shine Dias.
Thanks.
And also Nikhil from there.
Gargi was also there.
Gargi,
Harshit,
Harshit,
Saran
Singh,
Sandhu was
Sandhu.
also there.
चलो बाय बाय
Who was that other guy who came?